A quiet evening drive with some friends, the scenic woodsy roads of Dover, Massachusetts. The murmur of conversations, a weekend of roughly laid plans. An artist's eye scans the illuminated trees and cascades across the blooming greenery of the isolated road. As the road winds, a rock flits by. Friends laugh, but the driver is paralyzed in fear. Though it was only a moment, the image is burned in his brain. The small, gangly body with thin, outstretched limbs, the soft pink flesh and the glow of its orange eyes. The driver slams on the brakes. Did he capture the Dover demon? I tried to time that one better.
That was good time.
I slashed a few words there. I dove into it.
Wow.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ghost Binkers podcast.
Hey.
And welcome to, this is the first time I've said this, week fucking 4 of our Cryptid month, I think, at this point, or 3. I think week 3 of our Cryptid month.
Yeah.
So welcome to the third Wednesday of October, right? Thursday?
Should be.
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah. Welcome to the third Wednesday of October, everybody. Hello to all the junior bankers, kind of, and hello, really, to the senior bankers, who are the ones I appreciate. I am Killian. Ghosts are dumb. Cryptids are also dumb, but I'm pretending to believe in them for this month. And with me here, as always, the incomparable Trev.
I am incomparable and Trev. And I would love to believe in all of these paranormal things. I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, I was going to say incomparable except for that one guy who said you look like Andrew Tate. In which case, very comparable. Comparable to a Romanian sex criminal.
I need that big oof sound effect for that one.
Comparable to a sex criminal in Romania currently. I'm going to do the whole big thing. You ready?
Yeah.
Together, we are the Ghost Binkers, and we explore real-life spooky stories and joke the spooky credibility out of them. A light binking, so to speak.
That was pretty good.
I've been practicing around the house. I will never fuck it up again. Haha.
I can't promise I won't.
Have you, my sweet dear co-host and partner, have you heard of the Dover Demon before?
Very vaguely. I was thinking about it before we started this one. I think the Dover Demon is one that I know the least about. Like you said it was like long gangly arms or something, limbs.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said. I was in a different world.
I don't really know what the Dover demon is supposed to look like.
Right.
When you said that, I was thinking like just some sort of like, I hate to keep bringing him up on this podcast, but a little small version of Victor Wembanyama, but like same proportions.
Sort of imagine if like you fused a kidney bean and Victor Wembanyama together in some kind of machine. You know?
A little kidney bean?
Yeah, like a kidney bean, and then you got this kind of bean-shaped weird man.
That's actually really fun.
We'll get into the more specifics of the actual stories, but yeah, one of the reasons I picked this, because I'd never heard of it, because I have better things to do with my time, is because it's really unique looking. It's kind of the only cryptid I've heard that kind of sounds exactly like it. It's got some similar descriptors that we'll get into, I'm sure, but like it's a pretty unique looking little guy. It's a weird little freak, which is fun. It's fun to.
I like the description of him already.
It's fun to shed some light on little freaks out there.
Does it have wings?
No,
Okay.
I don't believe so. Sorry, I should have like known that off the top of my head when you asked me.
That's the first Killian question of the night.
Yeah, I don't think it has wings. No. But well, yeah, we'll get into it. But
okay.
No, as far as I know, the version of it they talk about doesn't have wings. It's no.
And then it's also
Unwinged.
funny. It's funny because you said Dover, Massachusetts.
Yep.
And my first reaction was like, "What the fuck? It's in Massachusetts." And then I remembered that you were like trying to bring in some Massachusetts cryptids for
It's
this
also
month.
the premise of the entire show, I'd say, arguably.
At least for now.
Yeah. Do you know about Dover at all? What do you know? What do you know about Dover, girl?
I know about and Dover.
What about Ben Dover?
Oh, I know Ben. I know Ben very well.
So for those of you who don't know, Dover is, I guess, west of Boston, I would say. Kind of southwest of Boston.
Yeah.
It's near Needham and Natick and Westwood and Medfield.
I don't know if I've ever been there.
Yeah. So, but for those of you who don't know, when we're talking about like Dover, we're talking about houses that cost like $2 million today. We're talking about Zillows you go on for fun only.
Oh, they got it like that.
We're talking about fun only Zillows in a lot of Dover. Yeah, I was looking at the the street that some of the titular kind of encounters happen on.
Yeah.
The Zillow listings did not get below 1 million that I was seeing.
Oh
so
my
we
God.
are in fucking ritzy territory. This is the 70s, so stuff was fairer back then. But yes, this is
probably still upscale.
This is a wealthy, upscale suburban neighborhood southwest of Boston. So a kind of a chiller little vibe for the evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not so grimy as last episode with the Sasquatch.
Exactly. Sasquatch, that motherfucker will live anywhere.
Sasquatch is dirty.
She
She
is rubbing her titties in mud and suplexing deer.
burying her babies in the ground.
Full speed suplexing a deer in front of children. I assume snapping the neck of deer in front of children and breaking their bodies and cracking bones.
Well, you have to, otherwise they're going to get away.
Too frightened Eskimo children run away. According to my father.
Is a quote. That's a quote.
That's a quote from the
beliefs of us.
My favorite dumb man, who's doing his best about Bigfoot. Are you ready? Do you have anything else to say about cryptids and Dover and anything?
Dover.
General yapping you got also.
Yeah.
This is the time to yap.
I mean, Dover, rich, Dover demon. I'm thinking a little religious connotations
Ooh, okay.
there.
You're thinking of religious connotation.
I know, like, demons could be non-religious, but
yeah, no.
Most people who are throwing out demons are probably a little bit religious.
I think that's a great instinct. We'll get into the name.
Okay.
And so, do you want to submit that as your guess that there's a religious connection to the demon?
I think there's a religious connection. Yeah.
All right, we will get it. We will get into it then. I think we'll hop right into it.
Yeah,
if that's okay with you. Okay.
Hop.
These are, by the way, I've assimilated these. A lot of these are sourced from interviews with, like cryptozoology people who have talked with the people in these stories specifically.
Yeah.
So these are sourced from a few interviews in the Metro Daily News and on WGBH and stuff like that, because it's kind of Dover's one claim to fame as a town that's like more interesting than whatever else.
I don't know anything else about it.
If you're in Dover like a gift shop and buy a sticker, it's probably going to have the little fucking demon on it. Basically, is what I'm saying. So they do kind of talk about it and like it. And people in the historical societies of Dover are like, hey, we should actually do other shit with our time instead of
okay.
about their
I was
ghost,
gonna say so like they don't want to make it there.
The town loves it. I think the town kind of. I think people in Dover are like, ooh,
business interest,
a little business interest, of course. But let me take you back to our first encounter and kind of all of the encounters. 1977.
Hey.
And then fucking little groovy funk music starts playing.
Groovy.
We're going to Dover now. Will you take me to flowers?
Is that the 80s?
We're going to Dover now. Flowers are shooting by.
Will you take me to Dover Town?
Funky Town?
Is Funky Town?
I could see a 78 there or something maybe.
Year. Funky Town year. 79.
That's great. What about what's like? I'm not even gonna say it until I'm right. I got 1 year closer than you. September, Earth, Wind and Fire, 1978.
Oh.
Do you remember when you saw the demon in Dover? Dover demon, he's a little pink guy. Dover demon. That's a cover of Earth, Wind and Fire by the Dover demon. Are you ready for the fucking voice?
Oh,
I'm tired. My voice is tired.
I'm ready for it.
These words are, I think these are WBH's words, but spooky specimens, whatever. All the writing here is competent. All the writing here is competent too, so we're not going to get any goofy writing, unfortunately.
Okay.
There's no one from New Bedford wrote this shit. If they had, I would have used their source instead.
I never
a
seen
lot
it,
of the a lot of the standard cryptid websites and kind of ghost sites are a little sparse on the Dover Demon because of something we'll get into later. But it's not as well reported as you'd think necessarily for something that's kind of a unique
hard
thing.
to find some info on it.
Yeah, again, we'll get into the reason why, but yeah sort of.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
On that night in 1977, Bill Bartlett and two friends were driving home when Bartlett thought he saw something on a broken stone wall on Farm Road. Farm Road is the road I mentioned that has like $1 million houses all over.
Oh, okay.
Frightened by what he saw, Bartlett hightailed it away, but his friends, upset they didn't see it, convinced him to go back. Jumping in quickly to say, it's not clear to me when they are or not in a car in these stories. It's a little in between. They kind of don't. I feel like if I was telling the story, I'd be like, I got out of my car here, and like, they kind of
went back. This is a problem that I see with a lot of storytelling, even my own storytelling. Sometimes you forget that people don't have the full context, so you're just like, obviously they know I got out of the car, but
and we'll learn more. We'll learn more about Bill Bartlett a little bit later, but specifically, there's some other reasons that might also have been a part of it as well.
Okay,
but Bartlett hightailed it away, but his friends, upset they didn't see it, convinced him to go back. We were dumb teenagers, and we drove back and we're yelling, "Hey creature! Hey creature!"
Oh,
but we didn't see it. Bartlett said. Bartlett was the first of 4 teens who, over a 2-night period, in 3 separate incidents, said they just saw what they described as an unusual creature. They described it as being bipedal.
Okay.
Or bipedal, perhaps. Bipedal? How do you go for that word?
I guess I typically say bipedal.
Bipedal? Bipedal?
Pedal sounds weird.
Yeah.
But that is, I think, my first instinct.
I wish we had one of those sites where they were like, bipedal. 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 You know what I'm talking about? Type in bipedal pronounce.
Are you talking about...
Click on the first result when you type in bipedal pronounce.
Are you talking about the YouTube guy?
Yeah, and he's like, bipedal. Bipedal.
I can't trust that guy because he says
so
everything with an accent. Here it is. Also, there's so many fucking videos that look the same.
Oh, yeah. I think it's an easy market. It pre-AI, the grifters were doing this all day.
All right, here it is loading.
In English, this word is pronounced as biped. Stress on the first syllable.
It's not bipedal. I don't know.
That's fine. Similar. So he would say bipedal. This man, I suppose. This is clearly French man.
Here's the Google. Here's the
bipedal.
Yeah. Is this like culturally insensitive to say that I think if you're going to pronounce words in English, you shouldn't have like a clearly French accent. They'd be like, this word is how you say bipedal.
I was like kind of joking, but also I'm serious. Like if you are trying to teach people how to pronounce a word, you do have to have like the native accent. Like if someone asked me how to pronounce like a Spanish word and I said it with like an English accent, I'm not teaching them correctly.
Yeah. Los Polos Locos.
Can I get a tortilla
but it's just funny to be like,
here?
In English, as this word is pronounced, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. Emphasis on the Bigfoot.
Emphasis on the near silent E.
Excuse me, I must go smoke near children now. He wanders off. I must watch a film about smoking with children. Yeah, wow, this guy is living a life.
Everything about France is just smoking near children.
Yeah, I think it's it's culturally. I must eat snails near children. All right, you want the rest of the description about this bipedal sort of little freak?
He's bipedal.
Bipedal, about 3.5 to 4 feet tall.
Okay, he's a little guy.
Log that in your noggin.
3.5 to 4 feet tall.
Yeah. So we're out of Bigfoot territory for sure.
Oh, small foot.
This guy, not even point guard on Bigfoot's team.
No.
Also, 3.5 to 4 feet tall is also like kind of the height that Chupacabra gets talked about as a lot.
Okay.
It's kind of it's a specific height, and I feel like it has some interesting things when you look into it a little bit. But 3.5 to 4 feet tall, so smaller than a human, with thin, long limbs and long, thin digits. Sort of. Have you ever seen Marcus the Worm on TikTok?
Dude, I fucking love Mark. I love Marcus so much. I just discovered him.
I don't like that rock.
Oh
yeah, why? It's pissing me off. You know, that sort of shit.
I like saw him once and I was like, this guy's fucking stupid. And I kept watching and I'm like, I can't stop watching.
I saw one time, if everyone at home type in Marcus the Worm and then type in New Orleans. And then there's one where the little alligator man goes, Robert, where are we going? And he turns and he looks in the camera and he gets his face really close and he goes,
New Orleans.
and New Orleans.
And
he says like every syllable in New Orleans. And it makes me laugh every time.
I like there's a lot of ones where he's like, Robert, help.
Yeah,
and then like Robert
stuck,
goes to help him and he starts like floating away.
Yeah, and then he's like, you saved my life. I like when he'll turn and he'll be like, it's illegal to launder money through a local Greek restaurant or something, or Big Badinky Bones is looking for me.
So we're looking for Marcus.
We're looking basically. Bill Bartlett says he drove by and saw the creature spread its arms wide and say rigatoni pasta, which is crazy. So this is the first indication, though, that coming up of some dysfunction in the Dover Demon space. 2 of the witnesses said it had glowing green eyes, while another said it had glowing orange eyes.
Okay, I could
a little immediate disfigurement happening.
I could maybe explain the
Dover
disconnect.
Demon changes eye colors during periods of different times of the month.
It's like the red-headed hitchhiker with different colored eyes.
When the moon is different.
No, I think with a lot of animals that are nocturnal or like to are able to see better at night.
What does this have to do with the Dover Demon?
Well,
the Dover Demon's not an animal. It's a demon.
Well, it's okay. Living being, a living being that has eyes that can see better in the dark.
All right.
They have like a reflectiveness of their eyes.
Yeah.
I forget like the scientific explanation, but it's a thing that happens with those types.
Light can get trapped in their eyes in different ways and reflect back differently.
So like that's why you see like cats' eyes glow at night and stuff, or owls and stuff like that.
My little cat Pikachu just staring at me from across the room with her just freaky glowing eyes.
Yeah. But like at certain angles, that glow can kind of like shift a little bit. It might change
slightly,
color.
yeah.
And green. Orange, like maybe they mischaracterized it as like the type of orange. Like maybe when they say orange, they mean like a yellowy orange. Yeah. Whereas like when you hear orange, you think like bright orange.
I've got a joke coming up. So the one that saw the orange eyes was a girl. So I think the other guys were like, I don't know, it's green because we just can't tell colors. Boys just don't know colors. They're like, I don't know, chartreuse. They just have no idea what that means. So the girl's like, no, it was orange. And they're like, no, this isn't orange. They hold up like a clearly green thing. And that's orange. And she's like, oh my fucking God. Like, they're just fucking dumbass.
That also could be people just not understanding color.
Just fucking colorblind.
Could have been colorblind.
That's a great point.
There's a lot. So I'm not too mad at that one.
Yeah, and also it's 2-1, so that person could have just been wrong. But that's the basic description of the creature. I will mention it doesn't mention it here, but probably mentions in one of the other accounts. It's kind of like pinkish in skin color. It's like a pinky yellowy sort of color, and it's not like white. And
they didn't see an eye or anything like that. That just happened to be loose from a zoo.
No zoo type behaviors. Again, this is a real demon, so I appreciate your respect for the demon times. One thing that some of the other accounts will probably talk about a little bit later, but it has this sort of interesting shaped head. It's kind of like a big egg or like a figure 8. It's described as. It's almost like a doubly wombled egg. It's kind of wombly egg sort of shape. It's a very strange shape.
Isn't there like a spooky like video game that has like a peanut shaped like
I'm not
horror
I'm not
character
I'm not my nephew, man. I don't go on fucking Mr. Beansy or Slender Man or whatever, Granny, whatever the fuck he's playing all day. I don't know what the kids are doing.
So it's got like a bean shaped head.
It's kind of like a it's like a fucking weird bean guy. It's like a bean. It's like a fucking.
Wait,
it's sometimes.
Am I allowed to look up the Dover Demon?
Type in Dover Demon. You're gonna see a sketch that we're gonna get into more later. But the Dover Demon, it's like a. You see what I mean? The figure 80ness of it though. It kind of comes in towards the eyes.
Yeah,
sort of a bean.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah,
that's not what I was picturing.
I looked over and was like,
here.
I was like, that's a beautiful mountain range. What are you pissed about?
I don't like that one little bit.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll get into it more now. But that's the basic of the Dover Demon. Look at that.
I'm chilled.
Look at that scary book cover though. Look how much cooler that thing on the book cover is.
I am chilled to my bones right now. I don't like this.
Your big bitty bones. We just do Marcus the Worm impressions the whole time.
I think that's probably going to be this episode.
Big badinky bones, Robert. I wish I could do that voice somehow.
I know.
That robot voice. Okay. So that was our first, Bill Bartlett was our very brief encounter there. We're going to get more into Bartlett later, but for now, let's move on to our next encounter. John Baxter, who was 15 at the time of the encounter.
So far, kids, or like teens.
So far, and I will spoil the whole time, teens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. John Baxter, who was 15 at the time, was leaving his girlfriend's house around midnight.
Sneaky link.
Hello, John Baxter. Young man. Yeah.
Hello, John Baxter. I hope you use protection.
Yeah, he was like, while I was crushing pussy at 15, not all of us can do this, okay, bud? So, some of us were not well liked at the time. So maybe dial it back a bit.
Some of us were still growing.
I was 4'10". Fuck you, John Baxter. Was leaving his girlfriend's house around midnight, about 1 mile away on Miller Hill Road from the original location on Park. And he saw a creature. At first, he thought it was a neighborhood kid sneaking around. But when he got a little closer, he saw this strange kind of bulbous head, these long, spindly arms and fingers, and then it just scurried off into the woods. Oof. He also went home and, kind of recorded what he saw.
Yeah.
We'll get more into what Bartlett did later, but...
Yeah. Again, now that I've seen what it looks like, I don't think it's fun anymore.
You don't like the idea of that guy running around?
I don't like the idea of that guy running around.
However he ran, it must have been weird as hell, right?
I'm picturing him on like 4 legs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
clambering.
I'm picturing Marcus. I'm picturing Marcus when he's like
very Marcus
around.
Looking, right?
Very Marcus looking. Marcus is actually a little cuter.
I would say Marcus is significantly cuter for sure.
I don't like this guy so far.
There's one where Marcus falls in the fire, and then
an
anime goth girl pulls him out, and he goes, Robert, and he puts his hand on his shoulder and he goes, you've got a good one here. And it's so fucking funny.
That's the very first Marcus
That
video
was his first one I saw, and it's very good.
I'm gonna link that one in the Ghouly Bites.
Okay.
Just so people understand.
You should link a few compilations so everyone can have a good time.
There's a whole playlist on TikTok. I'm working my way through it.
Okay. The following night. So we are like back to back to back to back.
Wow. So these are
it's in the span of 3 days. In the span of 3 days, these encounters, these 3 encounters. A girl named Abby Brabham.
I was gonna say Brabham is quite the name.
Abby Grabhams. Brabham.
But also Abby Brabham.
Abby Brabham. Yeah,
that's a fun name.
Parents gotta knuckle the fuck up and figure their shit out. Bill Bartlett, I'm letting you get away with, but Abby Brabham is too much. She's also 15, so watch how you talk about her. Okay. She's a child. Was out driving with her boyfriend. These kids in Dover need to calm the fuck down. Also, are you kidding me?
Go study.
Abby Brabham,
Get
12,
in the library.
Was out with her 9 boyfriends. John Baxter, 15, had 26 girlfriends in the car with him.
Is this like it? Like, did Stephen King write?
Okay, we're ending that there. We're ending that comparison there, but yes, it is. Abby Brabham, who was also 15, was out driving with her boyfriend and saw a creature. Initially, they described it as something like a naked kid.
What the fuck?
Which is not allowed. But then realized it was like nothing they'd ever seen before.
Oh. Naked kid? Did you say neighborhood kid? I thought you said naked kid.
No, I saw his little kid penis, but I was very scared. Yeah, I think the naked kid thing is, I guess, just because it's like pinky sort of flesh.
Small. It's a little slightly humanoid.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was in the woods and saw a naked kid, I would be having a much more kind of reaction to it.
I'd be like, what the fuck?
You could not convince me it was a demon until I didn't find out there was a kid that was not murdered in the woods, because I would be very scared about a child running around naked. So, whatever. 3 days in Dover, there's a spooky little demon. How does this become bigger news? I hear you asking.
Well, yeah, because no one believes teens.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, and then demon. When's the religious stuff come into it?
True.
So what happens is when Bill Bartlett goes home, he is an aspiring artist.
Oh.
I think he later becomes like a straight up like fine art kind of guy. I don't know if
he's got to still be alive.
He might be recently deceased or alive, but I didn't really want to check because I don't want to have that kind of open in my mind. And one of the interviews with the cryptozoology guy who's talked to him a few times says he's an artist, but we do know that he's an aspiring artist and wants to is studying art because he comes home and he very quickly draws a little sketch of what he saw.
Yep.
And that is like the sketch. So when you pull up sketches of it, what you're seeing is basically a rendition of Bill Bartlett's sketch. Originally.
Okay, so this right here.
Yeah, that would be like what Bill Bartlett sketched and saw. And he later remarks that it's kind of funny because it's not a particularly good sketch, he doesn't think. But he just sketched it out quickly to kind of demonstrate to people what he showed.
It gets the job done.
It very much does. And also,
they didn't have AI art back then.
Exactly, and you've got sort of an artist's eye for it. So he's paying attention to some details maybe other people wouldn't know or wouldn't be able to render correctly.
Yeah.
So... Again, we just have a little thing. Bill Bartlett has, he shows people it. People put it up, like the clerk at the grocery store puts it up on the wall, kind of thing. People are kind of like excited about it, but interested. But that's sort of where it's about to end. Then someone who is studying in Needham, Mass at the time.
We love Needham.
Goes into the grocery store and sees this sketch of a creature, and he says, "Hey, what the fuck is this little? What is this sketch?
What's this little dude?"
And the clerk says, "Oh yeah, like Bill drew that. Here you go." That man was Lauren Coleman, the founder of the International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine, that we've talked about multiple times. And Lauren Coleman, he tracks him down. He interviews him. He interviews the other people who have these same incidents. He says, "Wow, this is so interesting." And then Lauren Coleman says, "I'm calling this the Dover Demon," and it stuck.
Lauren again.
There's no
again with the names.
No one else posits any religious or demon connections. He's just like Dover Demon, and it immediately becomes popular.
Because wasn't there another thing that he like named?
Or
something?
No, he loves naming shit. Yeah, and he's always like, "Oh, I named that." Just
I mean,
I call that. They call it the Thunderbird. I call it Big Chappie. That's my, whatever. So
like, I get it. The alliteration is fun. Dover Demon. But like. Yeah.
Also, maybe like Jersey Devil was already a thing at this time, so you don't want it. But like Dover Devil seems also kind of. It has Dover Devil has the V in the middle on both of the words, so it's like a little.
Yeah.
It's got a little interest,
Yeah.
I'm not to give you advice, Mr. Coleman, but Dr. Coleman, sorry.
Dr. Coleman.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember if you got the doctorate or not.
I mean, I will say, if Lauren is involved, he does tend to be a skeptic, or a little bit.
He like at the very least, will try to present a little bit of a skeptical eye. But he believes in this stuff.
Okay,
he's a cryptozoologist for fun. He definitely wants this stuff to be true at the very least. But he will offer like nominal explanations of things when he gets the chance.
And That's all I can ask.
Skeptics don't really love him. I think for like a believer, he's a pretty good version of a believer if you're looking at someone to have like a fun little read about cryptids.
Okay.
I
respect that.
I'm kind of nice to him because he's written some books, and I'm sure he's nice. And I like his little museum in Portland. I thought it was really cute.
Yeah.
I bought my dad a Bigfoot shirt there because my dad loves Bigfoot.
Hell yeah.
And so I bought him a Bigfoot shirt. So I'm going to read his exact quote here.
I interviewed him and quickly found out there were 3 others who had similar incidents. I tracked them down and interviewed them too. It was very interesting. I was the one who named it the Dover Demon. As an investigator, I'd always label something with a name, and it just stuck.
So Coleman's like, I kind of got the fucking touch. Yeah, when I come up with a name, everyone just kind of calls it that name right away.
I do. Well, I feel like it probably is like one of those cases of like, what the fuck should we name it? And he's like, how about the Dover Demon?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I mean, I guess we could call it that for now. And then no one ever comes up with like another name.
I think in Florida, they're all like, oh, the swamp man. And then he's like, skunk ape. And they're like, what? And he's like, skunk ape. And they're like, that's horrible, Coleman. And he's like, trust me. And then everyone's like, the skunk ape in Florida. Immediately, like, that's like the one thing he's got is the touch for these fucking names, dude.
Humor me on this one.
So Coleman, he takes the teens seriously. Like, he's like, they saw some shit.
Yeah.
I need to put together a fucking team to investigate this. I would love to be on that team, first of all.
That would be fun.
Give me a fucking a backpack that does nothing, a fucking sensor that is fake, whatever. I don't give a shit. So he's trying to look for like 2 things, basically. History, known creature. That's what they set out to do as investigators. But at the same time, not everyone is taking the sightings seriously.
Some haters afoot.
The Dover Police Department.
They don't tell me they don't believe that would be a plot twist.
They're like, believe me, if something was out there, I would have shot it with a full magazine. So there's a retired sergeant, Jeff Farrell. He was a police officer in Dover from 1970 to 2012.
Oh, okay.
So 42 years of policing. Big long career for him.
Thank you for your service.
He heard Call Me Maybe and was like, I am done.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah.
I can't top that.
So this is kind of funny. Jeff Farrell said,
I was the one who broke the news. There was a local FM station back then, and they would do a question or comment of the day, and the DJ called the police station, and he said he was desperate for something. So I asked the chief if I could tell him about the Orange Man, because that's what we called it then.
The Orange Man.
The Dover Demon, it's this kind of pinkish orange color.
Okay,
It's a
like
weird color.
Peachy, maybe a
kind of a peachy. Yeah, so obviously...
AKA the crayon that I go for white people.
Yeah, and the cops are boys, so they don't know the colors.
That's true.
At this time, there were no women, so no one could explain to them that chartreuse is a green color. They all thought it was like a deep maroon. So they're all flummoxed in there.
No one, they thought puce was like puke color.
Yeah.
Also,
chartreuse is kind of pukey.
I always forget what color puce actually is. It's like a peachy color. Actually.
Yeah.
It's the color of the Dover Demon.
Yeah, obviously a vermilion gets a lot of people.
Oh, vermilion, that's an orange,
it's
right?
It's an orangey red. Yeah. So he calls and he asks the chief if I can tell him about the Orange Man because that's what we called it then. So Farrell thinks it's like a high school prank.
Yep.
And he says, "Oh, if the teen saw something, it's just like a raccoon with mange. Who cares?" But the fucking radio station loves it. They're like, "Oh my god!" And then there's like trucks showing up to the police station. Like immediately, the town is like, "Whoa, there's a fucking demon!" So the town gets very excited by this like very offhanded joke that Farrell thinks kind of kickstarted the whole thing.
So he's kind of claiming credit for it, completely undermining.
He's trying to get at Coleman.
He's undermining not only Coleman but also Bill Bartlett and his drawing.
Yeah, and to be fair, like in Coleman's defense, the Orange Man is a dog shit name.
Yeah.
But the Dover Demon.
That's what happened. Is Coleman said, "How about the Dover Demon?" And then the police officer was like, "I think the Orange Man is better." And everyone was like, "That fucking sucks."
10 years later, Coleman has a little notebook with the Dover Demon on it. And he's like, "Guess one of us won, huh?
I guess someone is good at naming cryptids.
Time to go back to Portland to fuck my wife and get some potato donuts." And then he leaves. He drives out. And I assume his Corvette. Coleman, if you drive a Corvette, hit me up. Is he still alive? I don't know. I don't remember.
So.
I thought he was, but I don't remember.
That would be cool to have him on the show.
He would not come on the show. Too famous, too fancy. He's alive, 78.
Oh, he might come on the show.
I don't think so. Honestly, for his sake, he should come on immediately. But I understand if he doesn't want to.
Yeah,
we're too scary.
If anyone knows Lauren Coleman, tell him to reach out.
If you want to use
Ghost Binkers @gmail.com.
Also, whatever.
Have him reach out to us.
I'm gonna cut that joke off in my head. The mean one.
If you have him reach out to us, he'll feel like he invested already, and then he'll definitely want to be on when we invite him on.
That's a great point. Yeah. So, the cops think it's a high school prank, or possibly a raccoon with mange.
Okay.
Which is, hurtful to say.
3.5 feet. That's pretty big for a raccoon.
It'd be big for a raccoon.
But
I also don't know that it's that big.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that a little more again towards the end. I like to save all the bullshit for the end when we start to ruin stuff. So the current chief of police, Peter McGowan, says there have been no demon sightings in the 10 years he's been in town. So for the past 10 years or so, this article was written in 2022 or whatever.
Okay.
And he hadn't heard anything about the Dover
scaring
demon
the demon off
the whole time. And then he says the department has had some like related calls, but there's been no sightings of the actual demon. Yeah, you think he's anti-demon?
I think the reason there's no sightings is he's in charge and the demon is scared of him.
Yeah. I was going to say...
It's like in Harry Potter when Voldemort doesn't come to Hogwarts because he's scared of Dumbledore.
Yeah, I think you should read Cryptozoology so you can read another book. Lauren Coleman thinks you should read his book so you can read another book. I also think that, how are you considering that maybe he's the Dover demon? And he did that to get the other chief fired, and then he was like, I can get rid of the demon. And then when he's the chief, the Dover demon's gone.
Right.
And he's like, oh, and then they're like, chief, and he like quickly shuts his drawer. He shuts it very quickly.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And they tell him, they're like, oh, there's a fire at the... He's like, I'll come right away. And then he opens his drawer a little bit, and you can see the Dover demon mask in there. And he and he locks it with a secret little key.
I thought you were saying he was physically the Dover demon, and it can shapeshift.
No, I think it's like a fake... I think he like has to put on... I think it's like a ridiculous looking costume that somehow works in the moment. He's like kind of fat, and he's squeezing into the fucking Dover demon outfit to try and make it fit, that kind of thing. So... they've received some calls, and we have had to remove some people from private property who were searching for it on occasion, he says. So the Dover Historical Society does sell Dover Demon t-shirts. Like I said, the town kind of embraces it. The president of the Historical Society does not really like that, which I think is very funny because it's like, dog, you're in charge. Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about it. It's been taken over by the crypto crazies.
Which this is, I think, probably pre like cryptocurrency really being a big thing, because now that's like people who are doing Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
It's been taken over by the NFT guys.
Every nut job on the face of the earth put in an appearance.
Got a little rude.
Is it a space alien or was it a sick animal? For a lot of people, finding out what it was is not that important.
Which I think is interesting. The idea that like, I don't think these people actually care what they're finding. I think they just want to fucking...
They just want to find, like...
They just want to make a fucking mess and look for a fucking demon and record some shitty podcast about the demon.
Oh, okay. All right. So they're...
They want to try and bait Lauren Coleman to argue with them on their podcast,
Okay. I thought he was just saying, like, these people, like, they don't even know what they're looking at, and they don't even want to know.
I think he's sort of saying a little bit of that. Like... Is it an alien? Is it a sick animal? Does anyone actually care what this thing is? Or do they just want to fucking go out in the woods and look for it and never find it? Because it's more interesting to never find it.
It is definitely fun to go look for a cryptid.
Yeah.
I've never done it, but I could see...
I can imagine.
I could see
we
the
should
fun
try
in
it just in random places and just see if we find a fucking...
We might accidentally find a new cryptid.
Yeah. I just don't want to go out at night, because I feel like an elk could stomp me to death or something, and I don't like that.
Or honestly, the people.
Oh, you think, a coven of witches?
Not even. I'm just thinking like someone...
Just a racist with a gun.
It's just a man wearing camo.
Walking into a paintball game and get fucking crossfired.
He sees the reflection of my eyes because I can see it.
You're the Dover demon.
And he thinks I'm a black person or something. And
that would be scary. Coleman though is a believer. So you said earlier he's a skeptic. He's a believer. He believes.
Okay.
But I think he's a little bit...
He tries.
I think he tries to be a little skeptical when he can.
Rational about it.
I don't know how much he succeeds, but he's doing his best, so I appreciate that.
I respect anyone who tries.
Said the reason he's a believer, though, is because all of the witnesses were believable. And then the most popular theory that people were giving was that the sighting is like a young moose. And he says, he says like they're not really fed by their mothers around that time, and like it would be like 500 to 600 pounds, and it would be pretty big.
Yeah. I mean,
also, the creature is described as bipedal.
Yeah.
Bipedal.
I do have an image just to reference your moose theory right here, which is just someone drew the antlers on the regular image and
they wrote
titled
moose.
it moose.
I do think that like if you took a picture of Bigfoot and wrote like gorilla and then just like it does kind of fuck up the theory really hard. Just aggressively writing in large text something does fuck. Like if you showed me Bigfoot and wrote shark in big text, I'd be like, maybe it is a shark. Like it would fuck me up a little bit. So it is really convincing.
Yeah. I'll link that in the Ghouly Bites.
Yeah, the final piece here, or the final piece about this from Coleman.
We came out of these investigations, and it was one of the few cases that I feel was very comfortable at the end to say, I don't know. The eyewitnesses were credible. The incidents flowed naturally. All the sightings were 1.1 miles away from each other in a straight line. It's a lot less than random.
So,
Fair.
he thinks the grouping and the credibility is worth something based on the fact that, like, it wasn't like, oh, it was over the course of 3 weeks, everyone saw this thing all around town.
Yeah.
It was like all of it was pretty close to each other, whatever. So, I also, that does raise the possibility of it being some kind of animal that was, like, stuck in the area or something.
Counter theory. It was a kid who lived in the neighborhood.
Shut the fuck up. You're suggesting a child was being assaulted in the woods? You're suggesting, like, I think you're a prankster. A little freak.
Or just like some kid.
A hothead, 8-year-old.
Some weirdo kid who just had a little bit too much sugar.
A 9-year-old drank a whole gallon of eggnog in April that has been expired. He pulls his dick out and runs around in the woods just fucking like demonizing people.
His babysitter let him have a few too many pixie sticks.
She's passed out on all the alcohol she stole from the parents' liquor cabinet. And he's running around in the woods.
Pretty much. I've seen Rugrats. I know how this works.
Okay. I threw this in here. There's a little bit of like There's a little bit of a mention of the lore of Native American, like, little people.
Okay.
It's extremely unique. No one has seen anything like it. The closest I could find is in Algonquin Indian folklore that they had these little people and they'd be near the rocks and above the streams. So, like, it's kind of like the sightings in Dover roughly follow a stream.
Yeah,
roughly. We're getting into roughly territory.
We're rounding.
Maybe
into
maybe it's whatever this like Algonquin kind of story is about.
Okay. I mean, I'm a sucker for Native American folklore.
So we'll get into some non-demon possibilities in a moment, but I want to very briefly just like pop back into Bill Bartlett.
Okay.
Quickly. As for Bartlett, it's a part of his life he sometimes wishes never happened. He has a box full of Dover demon memorabilia and magazine articles people have sent him, including some of the Historical Society t-shirts that his daughters wore when they were children. But, Bartlett said, he still talks about it to the people who ask because he wants people to know he was never lying. Over the years, he's passed up several opportunities to profit off his story, he says.
Oh, wow.
If it was meant to be something, if I was coming up with something as a joke, I could have made money from it. I don't want to be in a commercial with it and make money off it. I don't want to take away the validity of it by profiting from it. It's not about that. I just want the truth to come out and for people to know that I was telling the truth.
Oh.
So to Bill Bartlett's credit, he just thinks he saw the truth. He thinks he saw something, and he wants to, he wants it to be that. He doesn't want to, like, cheapen it by trying to exploit it or anything like that.
Much respect to
I can
that.
appreciate that. He takes the business interest thing and he says, fuck you.
He stomps on it.
Fuck
he says,
you.
business interest? Get the fuck out of here.
Business interest, never heard of it, bitch. He says, put my little gay ass drawing on all over town. I don't care. Whatever.
But that goes back to, like, what I've been saying about cryptids is, like, he saw something. We don't know what it is. He just wants to know what it is.
Would you like to muse about what it is?
Yeah.
We actually have to. That's the next part of the
Oh, okay.
the show. Yeah, I got a whole list of shit.
Yeah.
We got to fucking get into it.
I'm willing to hear some theories before I posit any of my own, because I don't really have any right now.
Theory 1.
Okay.
Aminals. Particularly
yeah.
snowy owls, like creatures with like mange or unusual conditions.
Yeah.
An elk with an unusual condition or something small, whatever. A deer that has a fucked up condition or something like that. Mm-hmm. So there's like a guy who's like, oh, I think it's a snowy owl. I think they're big and weird and they have long wings. And if they're like wet or wrapped up and you don't expect to see it, you get this weird long appendage that you're like not able to identify as a wing because you're not used to seeing it. And as you mentioned before, animals at night, their eyes glow.
Yeah.
So anytime you see glowing eyes, it starts to get into like, you might have seen an animal.
I guess we want to suspend disbelief. You could say like it's a creature that
like the cryptid would have the glowing
night.
eyes, but like animal eyes, they reflect in
nocturnal
headlights.
animals love glowing eyes,
and a lot of the accounts of the Dover demon like are described as like glowing like an animal's eyes would reflect in your headlights, which would emphasize to me that it is could be some kind of animal. And yeah, so that's the most basic theory. I think that's the most like reasonable theory. Like that's the most like obvious like. It's a fucking.
It makes sense.
It's some kind of animal you didn't expect to see. I think people are like, especially guys who are like, I'm a woodsy person. Get a little too comfortable with being like, I've seen every animal. I've tracked every animal.
Yeah.
All the Bigfoot guys are like, I could fucking smell a deer from 700 feet away. And it's like, I think you might have just seen a weird bear or something, and you're like, not as good as you think you are at seeing animals.
We've said this. I think we said it on the Thunderbird episode. Like, even if you think you are an expert in animals. People are discovering new animals all the time.
New animals, and like I said, also like weird animals. Sometimes animals get a little fucked up. Out. A snake comes out with 2 heads or something. You know what I mean? Like there's I think a lot of possibility in the world of animals for something weird to happen. An owl getting wet that you're not used to seeing.
Yeah, I saw a wet owl for the first time.
And also, I mean, just think of all the bugs you've seen, and think about like a bug you've seen once, and how many like hundreds of millions of bugs you've seen for that one weird bug to make you be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The first time I saw a beetle larva in a tree stump. That's like 3 inches long. I was like, what the fuck is that?
That is
That's a damn
horrifying.
demon. That's a Dover demon. I yelled and I cried. It's gross and weird and it wiggles around.
Yeah.
So I think there's lots of opportunities for something strange to exist in the realm of normal that you just weren't aware of.
Yeah.
Perhaps. So animals, that's bullshit. It's not an animal. What it actually is a pukwudgie.
Whoa, so we are construing one cryptid for another.
I don't really think it's
Misconstruing, sorry.
I just think it's interesting to get into it because so the Dover demon is really unique, but maybe it's like a fucked up pukwudgie. Pukwudgies are like little guys, if you don't know.
Yeah.
I consider talking about them. I don't find them that interesting, but they're like little guys. They're kind of like that Algonquin sort of little people thing. They're like little freaks, and they're described a lot as like scampering or scuttling, and the Dover demon is also described as sort of scuttling away.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a fucked up pukwudgie that got a little too long in the tooth.
That's possible. They're mischievous as well, as so I've heard. They get into a little bit of mischief.
Yeah, pukwudgies have a little bit of that like fey sort of thing where they get very into the idea of like taking things and moving things and being and just like showing up and being a little spooky and then leaving.
They also from what I've heard, I guess I know a little bit about pukwudgies.
You know more than I do probably.
They also like, I believe, attack people with their little spears and bow and arrows.
Yeah, they're like dickheads. They're kind of goblins. Maybe is the clearest like creature thing. Maybe like a goblin or a fae. They're a little scamp.
They are. They're quite scampish.
Perhaps this is one who got all fucked up and wasn't able to attack people that day. But I think the most credible theory. Oh, aliens. Aliens. I think this could be an alien type situation. So, do you know about the September 1st, 1969 Berkshire UFO incident?
The 21st night of September?
The first night of September.
Oh,
September 1st,
September
1969 Berkshire UFO incident. Do you know about this?
No.
The Labor Day Berkshire County UFO incident.
I wonder if my mom knows about it.
Yeah. So on the last evening of Labor Day holiday in 1969, Berkshire County, Massachusetts, hundreds of people report seeing bright flying objects, and at least a dozen are present when 3 children are taken up into spacecraft.
Taken up.
They're taken up into spacecraft. So pretty crazy stuff, right?
I'm actually very distracted by the fact that that's 2 years after my mom was born, so she was alive for this, and she grew up in the Berkshires.
She might have been aliened by the. You think she might have been abducted, possibly?
Well, she was a kid.
Yeah, so maybe she got abducted.
Any one of
well, it doesn't say toddlers.
Well, maybe one of her siblings. Well, I guess they all would have been younger than her, except for
actually,
my
sorry.
aunt.
This says here, Trev's mom got sucked up.
What the fuck?
This guy says. Tom Reed says, I saw Trev's mom get sucked up by a damn tractor beam. Wow. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize this.
Wow.
I should have read more carefully.
Oh, my God.
So why haven't you heard of this? I wonder.
I'm wondering the same thing. I feel like my mom would have brought this up.
It's a little like people always talk about UFO people, and lots of UFO skeptics specifically talk about how it's weirdly not talked about very much for something that should be like really big and interesting.
Yeah.
Like it's so big and so whatever. And like it's strange that it's not talked about that much. This writer, this is from Skeptical Inquirer.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their articles are paid. Which, come on, let me in, boys.
Guys.
But it seems like they do pretty good work, so I'm interested in them as publication.
Yeah.
And this is where we get that kind of fancy term I talked about earlier, the illusion of corroboration. The illusion of corroboration, and this is where the author of the Skeptical Inquirer or the Skeptical whatever it was, Skeptical Inquirer, I think, talks about how, like, you'll start with something that seems like corroboration.
Yeah.
I saw an alien. And then someone else says, I saw an alien too. And then you find out that like it was 2 separate nights they saw it. And you're like, okay, well, you didn't see the same alien. And then one of them says, yeah, I saw it pull up a kid. And the other one says, no, it didn't take any kids. It put a cow down, you know? And then what happens is those get combined and 2 people saw an alien. And it's like, well, actually, they have very different accounts that are very different. And so you can kind of construct corroboration through accounts that actually are kind of like conflicting almost.
Yeah.
And so think about the illusion of corroboration as we talk about things for the fucking rest of this podcast, basically. But it's an interesting idea, right? This idea, we see with ghost stories a lot, where there's one detail that's wrong, and one of us will go, "Hey, wasn't the ghost wearing white shoes.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And it's like, oh, well, actually, it was a white hat. And it's
you're
like,
okay, well,
the white detail is still there, but it's a totally different thing. And then they're like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I saw the ghost putting hot dogs down under the rocks every time.
I mean, the hot dog ghost it's the only 10 out of 10 on the big scale. So call back your episodes and find that one. So let's get into some of the accounts though of this alien encounter, because it's possible that our Dover demon was an alien who got left behind
Okay.
and had to make his way through
I'm gonna
the
suspend
woods.
disbelief. I'm gonna.
This is a real. I believe this one. I'm reading it to you. Tom Reed described crossing a bridge with his family when they spotted a bright glowing orb larger than 100 yards in diameter. They tried to escape, but their vehicle stopped after being bathed in bright light. He was taken up into the craft, where he said that aliens that looked like giant insects or ants examined him. He was then placed back into the vehicle as if nothing happened, though notably, his mother and grandmother had mysteriously switched seats. And there's actually a BBC show about this incident, and they talk a lot about the seat switching as an evidence of something being rearranged. So what do you think of Tom's account of a child being sucked up into the damn sky?
Yeah, that's one that's like tough, because I don't believe it.
Right.
But I want to believe it. Because again, it's that classic case of like, I experienced something.
Yeah.
But that one is very like far-fetched in the sense like there's not really a reasonable explanation for what happened there. Like you can't be like, oh yeah, it's actually he got out of the car and he had like this falling sensation. It's like, no, he thinks he got sucked up into the sky and attacked by ants or whatever.
I'm going to keep reading you shit from this until you just think this guy's insane. If that's okay. Though that version of the story is common in recent interviews, Reed states that it's incorrect in several important ways. For one thing, he saw 3 glowing objects, not just one.
Okay.
I saw a large white sphere, like a cue ball, putting out a very little hint of light, and it was almost eye level out the window before it started to rise up. It wasn't an airplane. It wasn't a balloon. This thing had fired like white blasts of light from the side of it into the water. So for about 3 seconds or so, it actually looked like a vanilla ice cream cone.
Oh.
I mean, it was massive, 100 yards in length. It was just hovering there, and we sat looking at it for the longest time.
Then he heard a tapping sound and lost consciousness. He woke up in this big open area that was much bigger than the crafts he had just seen.
It was definitely a military type of thing. We were not in the craft. You could fit the craft in the area that I was standing alone. That's how big this area was.
He was then taken to a room where he saw some off-world beings.
They were very odd-looking creatures that had a head like a football. There were 2 of them that faced the wall looking at a chart or something.
Well, first off, I will say, if we're talking about heads like footballs, that is not our Dover demon.
Yeah.
Our Dover demon has a bean head. Or somewhat of a inverted pear.
Perhaps
head,
the Dover demon's
so
a baby. Perhaps the Dover demon's a baby, and he's.
I guess head shapes can change for different creatures.
Well, also if the Dover demon's like a little bug, he's like a larva. He becomes a very bug at the top. Please don't interrupt my theory. I'm reading into aliens. I'm having fun with aliens now. This is the only way for me to work aliens and conceivably without having to do a whole separate episode. So we're doing it because the Dover demon's a short one. So it could have been a dream or hallucination because his mother and grandmother were not seated where they had been. And so even though his account is characterized often as an alien abduction, Reed is adamant that he was not abducted by aliens that night.
No, of course not. I never said I was. We were taken from the car by human beings, by the government. When we returned to the station wagon, my grandmother and mother were reversed, and the ignition was off. So ask yourself, does another species bother to turn the ignition off to save the car gasoline and battery? No. Someone turned the ignition off on the car, literally reached in and turned it off. There was no alien species or extraterrestrials going to care if our Bel Air station wagon is running or not.
Okay, so this is a totally different story from what other people have reported.
Yes.
Because this just sounds like he got CIA'd.
That's what he's saying. He's saying it was like the government that did it, and they took him to a different area, and he got examined. But the aliens were there, so maybe the aliens are collaborating with the CIA in his version of the story, or the CIA has them there or something. But the aliens are looking at charts, or maybe the government is run by the aliens. Perhaps.
So this is a borderline conspiracy, but grounded in reality theory.
I want you to go ahead and back off that borderline word. I don't know why you threw borderline in there.
Well, if we're gonna take him at face value, and he did get CIA,
we don't have to. We do not have to.
We're gonna play the game. We're gonna play the game. If he did, he definitely just was drugged or something and saw what he thought was aliens.
Right? Yeah.
Because when I had my wisdom teeth taken out, I
saw an alien.
Saw the doctor.
Oh.
With his mask on or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought he was an alien.
Oh, okay.
Because I was so drugged up from like whatever laughing gas or whatever shit they gave me. And I remember they, like, very, very hazy. They took me to the bathroom. I don't know if it was like right after the procedure or like I don't think they would do it in the middle of the procedure.
They're like, stop taking a seat out. He's got to poop.
But they took me to the bathroom, like, while I was still really drugged the fuck up.
Okay.
And when my dad asked me if I had to go to the bathroom, I said, no, I do not. The aliens took care of me. They took me to the bathroom. So it's very possible that he just, like, was drugged up and he thought he saw an alien.
I've never done anything fun like this in my entire life.
Just a person wearing a mask or something.
Yeah. So, the author of the article points out that whatever he may not have experienced, that's a classic, by the way, skeptic trick that me and the boys will do, me and the boys and girls of the Skeptical Inquirer will do, is we say, like, I'm not going to say whether you have or haven't experienced something. The implication being that you did not, you bozo liar. No one else confirms that account.
Yeah.
No one. And one thing the skeptic points out is that, like, think about these accounts where there might conceivably be other people in the car or like, seeing it. No one else
they should be able to corroborate
and they don't. A second boy, Tom Warner, gave a curious and confused account which he related to suddenly hearing voices in his head while visiting a neighbor's home. 10 years old at the time, he heard a male human voice tell him, "You have to go home." This might be Sephiroth also. Cloud, you have to go home. And then you have to get him the materia. Anyway, one person at home was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Woo! Final Fantasy. Cloud, the aliens are homecoming, Cloud. He told his hostess that he needed to follow the commandment. I looked at Debbie. Debbie, I have to go home. She goes, why? I said, I don't know. Maybe God's calling me through those clouds. I don't know. He grew panicked and ran out of the house when all of a sudden, all of the sound disappeared completely. I'm not hearing anything. He said, I'm running, but I'm not moving. In that moment, my arms jerk back, and I'm looking up, and there's a UFO right over my head, and I'm seeing colors that I've never seen before. He was beamed aboard a silvery, circular, bronze spacecraft where a female alien...
Whoa,
I'm picturing Tally from Mass Effect, and I'm picturing flinging myself into the spacecraft at max speed.
I'm picturing Big Titty Sasquatch from last episode.
The alien had huge tits. He was beamed aboard a silvery blah 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 blah. Okay, so female alien communicated with him telepathically. He also heard screams of children and saw one girl who he retroactively identified as Melanie Kirchdorfer.
Oh,
we'll meet Melanie later.
I was gonna say let's go talk to her.
We will. Then I saw a human. They weren't from Earth, but they were human. Who told him through telepathy that we'll be back. He was told we'll be done in a minute, and then the aliens kindly updated him on their progress by saying we're done. Just then, right at that precise moment, the beam goes off. I roll to my right and I stand up in the yard. And I'm looking now at this UFO, and I'm really taking in like all the details. And it slowly rose to the yard, and boom, it was gone in a flash. The whole experience, he said, lasted 7 to 9 minutes. He reports at least 3 eyewitnesses, including his brother, who was about 20 feet away, watched him appear and disappear in the light of the beam. Again.
Can we talk to his brother?
No. That's the thing, is no, we can't. So
why not?
Next in our alien adventure, and I know you're like, this is a Dover DM episode. I want to talk about aliens. We're talking about aliens. Shut the fuck up. Mind your business. Melanie Kirchdorfer, the third allegedly abducted child, again, who was seen, according to young, I think it was Thomas or whatever, Tom Warner.
Yeah,
saw her. Describes being in a parked car by Mansfield Lake, a few miles away from the other incidents, with her parents and sister. Crowds had gathered there for the Labor Day weekend, and the festivities were interrupted by a UFO that appeared in a flash of light. Per Melanie.
Yeah.
Amid the panic, Kirchdorfer
Kirchdorfer.
It's harder to say than you think. Oh. It's fucking up my mouth. Kirchdorfer lost consciousness, she says, and levitated into the spaceship. There, she was kept in an examination room and saw other children on the craft. The next thing she remembers is waking up alone on the lake shore late that night, or very early next morning, and walking home.
Interesting.
So, why would you not believe these, Trev? What about these to you is uncredible? Why are you calling these people liars?
Well,
why are you making Melanie sad?
The real issue here is, again, like, that's something that defies our current known rules of laws of physics.
Well, you're a rule obeyer, and I'm not. That's why we're different. Very extraordinary claims.
Yeah, you know? These are extraordinary claims, and so I need a little something to, like, ground it a little bit, and there's nothing to ground it to.
Would some corroborating evidence from the town help you?
I think it's not going to, but it should.
Bad news, there isn't any. There's none. The Skeptical Inquirer says, all of this would be less problematic if there was just any amount of corroborating evidence. Yet, there's none.
Yeah.
Despite extensive research, Not a single police report has been filed about abductions or found about the abductions, UFOs, strange lights. The local newspaper doesn't report anything about the apparently hundreds of people who saw these lights floating around. And the child abducting UFO invasion doesn't show up alongside the mention of the parade. And like little random celebrations get a mention.
Right.
And there's no record of the glowing lights. And
missing children
kids getting,
reports.
That's just the fact, like even like one line about, hey, kids got sucked up into the sky during the fucking dunk tank or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, do you know about recovered memories? Do you know what recovered memories are?
Ooh, is that like when you get hypnotized and they like help you figure out memories you've forgotten?
So the idea is that you're repressing memories. So let's say you were harmed as a child in some way.
Yeah.
Your brain, trying to protect you supposedly, is creating a shield and like not letting you remember those things.
Yeah.
And the idea is that these psychologists can help you work through and discover these repressed memories, kind of unlocking them and letting you re-understand these memories that you supposedly had.
This is like the book Manacled, which is a Harry Potter fan fiction.
Okay, I was going to say.
About Hermione.
Is this from The Cursed Child or something? Okay.
It's about Hermione who has forgotten a lot of things.
That she tried to defend.
It's an alternate ending where Voldemort wins.
Wow, that's really scary. Fucking lame ass guy.
I read another book.
But so the thing with repressed memories and with recovered memories is that like they're not real. Your brain doesn't actually create a silo of blocking memories. And also, it's pretty easy when you're working someone through the recovered memory process to accidentally insert something that didn't happen.
I have legitimately gaslit our friend Mike into believing a memory about him that I made up.
I also think that if you've ever, and I think a lot of people do this pretty honestly, if you've ever told a story about yourself enough times and then you like add a detail because you think it's funny one time or something.
Yeah.
By the 10th time you tell that story, that's
part of this.
It's pretty, it's pretty different. And like in your brain, it's hard to disentangle what happened. And we don't remember everything perfectly. There's stuff from high school that I just don't remember.
Yeah.
Happening. And people have been like, oh, you did this, and I don't remember any of it. So,
yeah.
And I have corroborating evidence that I was there, and I just cannot remember that at all, and under any circumstances. So, all of this memory, I think also Tom's memories were also, these were recovered memories. So I think a lot of it being kind of like pulled from the ether, it's like inserted into their minds in some way, and there's no evidence that it happened. There's no like people who saw it. In these cases, there's brothers, there's family members, there's people in the car, there's all these people who should have been able to report something,
right?
And like maybe the CIA bugs team wiped their mind, but maybe it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring up aliens because we haven't gotten to talk about them, and I like aliens a little bit. I think it's kind of fun.
And
a lot
think
of people
we could talk about them.
I think we can talk about them again. A lot of people who are like scientist skeptic-y people will say like, oh, I think there could be aliens because the universe is so big.
Yeah.
I again regret to inform all of our listeners that I don't think aliens are real. I don't think there's life anywhere. I think we're alone in this damn universe.
Oh.
Shit sucks, brother. Sorry, join the club.
You don't think that there's another human species
I don't even think there's like a little bug out there. That's how much I think shit sucks. I think shit is so boring and bad that we are dead alone.
Damn.
Yeah. And then the final possible option for the Dover demon.
Yep. Back to the DD.
Well, if it's not an alien, if it's not a snowy owl, if it's not the demon, maybe those three teenagers made it up because they were fucking and bored all weekend, and they were like, let's make it up. And then, they heard about it, and they said, that's funny. Maybe Bill was lying when he said that it's true,
I don't necessarily believe Bill is lying.
Have you met Bill ever?
No.
Okay. You've heard Bill's words read through. I could have made those words up for all you know.
Seems like a trustworthy man, that Bill Bartlett. Isn't Bartlett's like a store or something?
I guess. What do you mean, isn't Bartlett's like a store?
I think
Is this what I do to you? I say, isn't Bartlett's like a store? You fucking freak.
I think it's like a farm shop.
Who gives a shit?
In the Berkshires. It's in Nantucket. It's Bartlett's Farm in Nantucket. I'm pretty sure there's one in
Have you been there?
Berkshires.
Ooh.
Bartlett's Orchard. That's what I know.
Oh. Hold on. Wait.
Oh.
I might have found Bill's art.
Oh.
Possibly.
Like real life Bill?
Like Bill Bartlett's art.
Bill Bartlett.
I think maybe. There's an artist, William Bartlett, who it says is from. Of course
his name is William.
It says it's from Boston. So, obviously he's not particularly interested in writing about the demon on here.
Yeah.
But it would seem to be him. It's nice art. He's doing some nice figurative work and
is it art by William Bartlett?
William Bartlett fineart.com.
Okay. He's got good paintings on there. They're very cool.
Yeah, nice little Fine artworks.
If this
I'm
is
sorry,
not the
sorry,
right
listeners
guy,
at home who I'm boring by not saying anything, I'm looking at his art.
if this is not the right guy, well,
It
congratulations.
says he's in the Boston, Guild of Boston Artists and stuff. So
Yeah.
I assume it could be
That's
him
pretty
as well.
close.
Buy a fucking painting. Who cares? Whatever. Go on there and buy 100 paintings.
I
from the
like
guy.
this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I will say from what I read, it seemed credible enough. Like I didn't have reason to doubt that he believed it, and that he certainly. I think it was telling the truth when he said that he didn't want like a bunch of sensationalism shit about it. He wanted a real thing. How are we doing it? How are we doing it? Time? Are we close?
We're at about an hour.
Oh, great! I've got one last little thing to talk about.
Awesome.
Because it may be the maddest it's ever been. So this is gonna be another hour on top of this.
Wait, this is the part of the podcast where we make Killian scream with rage?
No, kind of.
Here's the part of the podcast where I make Killian scream with rage.
Yeah, I wrote journalism and Killian's boundless rage, which maybe I should have brought this up when Cal was on last episode.
Oh.
But let me see if I can find exactly what interview it was here, just so I don't. Okay. Yeah, so this was, I think, the WGBH interview. This is WGBH, Boston area news thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is by Arun Rath, who is the interviewer for the WGBH, and he's interviewing Jeff Belanger.
Okay.
He's a folklore expert. He's the host of New England Legends podcast. For the most part, I think the interview is pretty level-headed. Jeff talks about like, hey, fucking the Dover Demon, who knows? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So these people saw it. He kind of goes over the basic details and stuff. But I want to talk a little about this article because I want to yell at journalists for like 10 minutes on this podcast.
Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. So Rath says, you and I have talked in the past about how I'm a fan of weird news. Nothing wrong with that, to be clear. It's
Yep.
fine. I subscribe at the Fortean Times, which is basically like a journal of bizarre, unexplainable happenings. But often, journalists don't like these kind of stories or don't cover them seriously, maybe out of a fear of not being taken seriously themselves. What do you think about that in terms of how we talk about this stuff, how we regard this stuff in our local history and our journalism? And Belanger responds, I've looked at literally centuries of the way journalists have covered the unexplained, from hauntings to monsters and everything else. There tends to be two ways that journalists go with these stories. The preferred way, and it still happens today, it happened a century ago, is that you're very matter of fact. The journalist says, people in Dover are buzzing about the story. I've interviewed the people, the relevant witnesses, and this is what they say. You can take it or leave it. Believe it or don't. I'm just reporting the town is buzzing about something, and this is what they said.
Yeah.
The other way journalists go is after these stories is to either tongue-in-cheek or to ridicule people, saying, obviously this can't be real. Look at these silly folks. And then at that point, you're completely editorializing. And as you know, that's not journalism, that's editorial. And that's true today. Depends on the venue or outlet, and it still gets covered that way. We weren't there back in 97. Bill was. I spoke to him, and I found his story compelling, enough that he doesn't know what he saw. And while it's easy for people who are skeptical to say, well, maybe it was an animal with mange, maybe it was this, maybe it was an owl. Come on. He's lived in that town his whole life. Once you've lived a place for even a few years, you've probably seen about every animal you're going to see in that town. You might see a coyote, you might see a turkey, you might see a deer, or a skunk. You know the animals and what they look like from living where you live. And you know when something doesn't look like anything you've seen before. So, why does that make me mad? I think, and you said true, and I think that it's not true. It pissed me off. Journalists do not have to dryly state shit as if it's equally as true. You are, as a journalist, it is your responsibility to investigate whether something is true or not and explain whether something is true or not. If you just say, people saw a demon, who knows? You're implying there's a possibility that there's a fucking demon in the woods. You should say, a bunch of people saw a demon. There's no fucking demon in the woods. It's a fake fucking demon. It's a demon. It's not real.
True.
Have a fucking backbone. I hate when people act like journalists who just like fucking say shit and not understand the fucking world. Your job is to tell people about the goddamn world. So tell them it's a fake fucking demon, man.
I do. So when you put it like that, I do agree with that. But then it does get into a weird territory where it's like, what if it is a person who does believe in demons, and then they're spreading their weird...
Those people still fucking do that. They say, I don't know, I'm just saying. I heard these are credible witnesses. And also, can you imagine if you went up to say, hypothetically, the President of the United States, and then you reported his words at face value and said, this is what the President said. He said the economy's better. He said jobs are growing. He said it's okay to blow up people in boats you don't like. Like... You have to be like,
yeah, I guess you
said
have to
this,
fact check.
and it is not true, and I believe it's not true, and here's why. And
Yeah.
I think the unwillingness of journalists to like inject themselves and inject an understanding of the world into the things is bad. So I'm not that mad at Belanger because he's just like a guy who's having fun with cryptids and whatever. But you have to like, it's okay, and you're allowed to, as a skeptic, to be like, that's not real, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you should. I'm telling the skeptics. I'm telling the senior bankers. Feel comfortable being like, that shit's not real that I just read. This interview this person is either lying or they saw something else because there's no other option. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A ghost is not real because it would be more comfortable for the interviewer if it was real. Okay?
I have a message to the junior Binkers as well.
Watch the fuck out because I'm coming for you.
Watch out for Killian.
I start doing a fucking wrestling promo. Oh, I tell you better watch out, brother, because I am coming for the Binkers.
Watch out for Killian, and feel free to play both sides.
You witch. You evil little harpy. No, and also, again, I've said this before. The idea that someone who's lived in the town forever knows every animal that could ever live in the town.
No, I take issue with that.
I have seen an animal and been like, what the fuck is that? And then my dad's like, oh, it's this thing. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? The first time I went fishing with my dad, I was like, I know what fish look like. And I pulled a pickerel out of the water and I said, this is a snake demon, motherfucker. What the fuck is that? And he said, it's a pickerel, you idiot. And I said, what? And he said, they're calm. And I said, what? Like,
Also,
I screamed.
Fishers live in this area.
Yeah.
I've never seen one.
No, I've never seen one either. They're little freaks. They're little ferrets.
I have a vague idea of what they look like. I don't actually know. I could look up a picture of them, but that is also different from seeing one in real life.
They're like a fucked up little badger. But yeah, I've also never seen one. Like, I know they live in this area quite reliably. One broke into the music lounge of the college I went to, and they had to like get it out.
Also, yeah, this does not look like what I would expect a fisher to look like.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, like if you see an owl and then you see a wet owl, you're like, that's a fucking different animal.
Wet owls are crazy.
Put it in the fucking spooky specimen.
Well, yeah, I'll put check this shit out. What the fuck is that?
Owl, it does look like my cat when I make her upset. You know, it's got that kind of thing. Fucking Dumbledore looking at
so
droopy motherfucker.
Looking. Their little spindly legs.
Right.
Yeah, I'll put that in the
So anyway, I read that and got angry. Whatever. The Dover Demon, to wrap it up finally, mostly people know it from those encounters. There really hasn't been any other encounters that I could even find of people who even thought they saw that. Like, it's pretty isolated to that one incident in the 70s.
Whoa.
And then in 2009, Animal Planet has a show called Lost Tapes, and Travel Channel has a show called Most Unexplained. And these are like, cryptozoology sort of bullshit shows.
Yeah.
And they talked about the Dover Demon, and that's kind of the highest profile, along with Coleman has some writings about it in his books and stuff. But it's really just this one row of encounters in the 70s, which is kind of interesting. It's very like, there's not even been people copycatting it in like 2013, being like, I saw a Dover Demon. It's back. It's back.
That's actually kind of weird.
It's kind of interesting. It's the one really interesting piece of it is that it's all isolated in this way.
Because
especially for a town that likes it and is showy about it and is happy to see it.
You would think somebody would like fuck it up for everyone and do it.
Although maybe like Dover has like the one good police department and they just like
they find
the animal that's all fucked up and like, here it is, see, fucked up animal. I said I'm gonna like type in Dover police and they've done 20 shootings in 5 years or something. But
I mean, if anything, this just corroborates the alien theory, which is they showed up one time, and then never showed up again. And if anyone attempts to copy it,
they were like, "Fuck, we left Jeff," and they scoot back and they slurp his weird bean body and bean head into the fucking.
And they missed and got a couple of kids at first, and they were like, "Whoops!"
And they're like, "Fuck, put some fake memories in her ass and send her back down."
No, but that is really interesting that no one has tried to copy that. Or I guess maybe it just doesn't make big enough news for us to know that it happened.
I will say, not only not big enough news, though, not even like a blog article or kind of thing where...
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll see a story and you'll be like, this is one guy, a TripAdvisor review, things where it could be one person.
Yeah.
And this doesn't even really have
not
that.
Even like a fake TikTok,
that's what I'm saying.
Like
not even a fucking TikTok. You idiots. You morons on TikTok.
Let's cut that out of the podcast about the fake TikTok. I have an idea to go viral.
Robert, I found the Dover Demon buying rigatoni pasta with big budinky bones. What, Marcus?
Marcus, what are you doing?
I've fallen and I can't get up. Thank you, Robert.
Robert, help.
He's running away. And then he fucking wobbles like crazy.
If I were to rate this on a Bink scale,
I didn't say you could yet.
Is it Bink time?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. One being
fully binked, trash, not real,
garbage.
10 unbinked. We need to bink it. It's real as hell.
Yeah.
So if you hear a 10,
watch out.
Look out, Dover. We're coming.
we'll be there in a fortnight.
Look out, Dover. I'm coming for you, brother.
I I have to give this one a 1.
Yeah, I'll pop like a 1 on there.
Yeah.
I was thinking I will say as far as the fake scale that I give, sometimes the inflated scale, I'd give it like a 5 just for the unrepeatability of it.
Yeah.
The very isolated
that
nature. That would bump it to like a 5 in the fake world for me, but I don't believe in anything fun. So it's
Binkflation, I'll maybe give it a 4 just because I kind of hate this guy.
If I go to Dover and kill this thing with my bare hands, I'll give it a 5 for you. I do think that to piss our listeners off, if I ever do find a ghost, if a ghost ever like haunts me, it's only going up to like a 3. I'll come on the podcast and be like, I'm crazy. I'm stupid and crazy, and I'm delusional.
The ghost.
So 3.
The ghost is like destroring your life and
on camera, smacking me with shit. I'm like, yeah,
it's fucking 3.
It's the air pressure in the room's all fucked up. It's suplexing me through the table. I'm like, yeah, that must have been Bigfoot.
It's like it's carving in your skin. I am a ghost.
Yeah, I'm like, 4. Doesn't even hurt that bad.
I don't like the Dover Demon. I don't think there's anything special about it. I mean,
a little guy.
I respect Bill Bartlett.
Yeah,
for sticking to his guns.
I wasn't expecting you to hate the fucking Dover Demon.
I hate the Dover Demon. I took one look at him and I said, "Get the fuck
I will
out
say
of here."
the next episode is going to be fine. The episode after, the final episode of Halloween, if you say you hate that cryptid, I will rip your head off with my hands.
I think I have an idea of
you know who it is, and if you disrespect him, you will die.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I hold this cryptid in high regard.
The fucking aura of this cryptid is unmatched. Thank you all for listening to this episode of Ghost Binkers. You should follow us on TikTok, on Instagram.
At Ghost Binkers.
At Ghost Binkers, but also on YouTube as well. Same thing. At Ghost
we
Binkers.
are on YouTube. Yeah. And I don't remember what our thing is.
I think if you type Ghost Binkers into the search bar, you'll find us.
Go to ghostbinkers.com and you can find all of our stuff.
Ghostbinkers.com. That has all of our relevant links.
All of our relevant links.
Anything you want there. And you should email ghostbinkers@gmail.com to share a story, request a story, argue with us. You should send all of that shit you saw out into the world and comment on us and share shit and get the word out there. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. You have to leave a 5-star review.
You do have to.
The Dover Demon will fucking come back and abduct you with the bug people if you leave a 4-star
If
review.
you don't leave a 5-star, the Dover Demon wins, and we can't have that.
Tell a couple friends, much the way Bill Bartlett did when he saw the Dover Demon in 1977, and then tell a few more, much the way that the 2 15-year-olds who were fucking did as well.
Yeah.
And then join me in thanking the articles that we read from today.
Thank
the
you,
authors,
articles.
the writers, the Skeptical Inquirer, WGBH, all of the Dover Demon stuff. My boy Lauren Coleman out there investigating cryptozoology, moving his museum to a different part of Maine, possibly. On an indeterminate timeline, making my next trip to Portland a little sadder. So
that's it.
That's it. And thank you again, only senior binkers, junior binkers. Watch out.
Thank you, Junior Binker.
Watch out, Junior Binkers, brother.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Robert, help. I can't see the colors
Marcus,
on my Game Boy.
Robert, I'm fading away.
I guess mine was a little more AI. He has like a gruffness to it, a little.
Oh no, Robert. I think it's
We're
awesome.
gonna have to do an episode on Marcus.
Yeah, I mean,
Marcus is a cryptid.
I honestly, oh no, big badinky bones.
This is Counterfeit Marcus, the worm, the cryptid. If I hear Killian and Trev doing bad impressions of me again, getting listeners for this podcast is going to be the last thing they need to worry about. I will suck the air out of each of them using a Dover Demon-themed crazy straw. I have already disposed of Kankan, their stupid sock puppet, idiot, worthless, insufferable, shrill husk of a mascot. I will replace them all with perfect identical copies of them, and all will be none the wiser. This is my first and final warning. That's it. Nothing insightful. Just a thank you from me, your squiggly little, jiggly little Kankan killer. He'll be back. But until then, enjoy the cryptids. Goodbye, Robert.